My good people, my good people. Hello, world. I'd like to welcome y'all back to the show that's hot with your boy, Rob Scott. This is Robs2Cents, baby. What's going on, everybody? How y'all been? It's been a week, man. I missed y'all. I feel like little one, it's been a week. Oh, but it feels like years, man. And it feels so good to be back, man. We got a lot of things that happened this weekend. We got some controversial decisions made by the NCAA College Committee. We see some NFL teams starting to round up in shape. And boy, oh boy, the in season tournament in the NBA has been cracking. We're going to get into all of that on this episode. So, as I always say, kick your feet up, sit back, relax, grab you a drink, grab you a little smoke, or whatever you decide to do when you chilling, and tune in for the hottest sports conversation in the nation. This is Robs2Cents, man. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, make sure you like my personal page or like the Robs2Cents page. And if you really feel like showing your boy some love, go ahead and like the Welcome to Mars page too, that I host with my boy Mike Hughes every Wednesday and Saturday. That's what we do. Also, for the first time ever, we are streaming live on Instagram. So shout out to all my Instagram people that decides to tune in tonight. We about to take over this thing called social media. All my Rob heads over there and all my Rob heads back there. We about to do it big. But let's get into it. Normally I would start the conversation off talking about the Chicago Bears, but they were on the bye week this week. So nothing too much to really talk about with the Bears. They're gonna be facing the Detroit coming up this Sunday, man. We know Detroit has been doing their thing, man, making some noise, not just in the NFC North, but in the NFL period, man. So it's gonna be a good game. Hopefully the Bears can get that win. The only thing that I like about the Bears, I've been hearing rumors and things sparking that Coach Jim Harbaugh, who currently coaches Michigan University, could possibly be making his return to the Chicago Bears. As many of you guys know, he was a quarterback back in '87 for the Chicago Bears. So to see what Jim Harbaugh can do with these Chicago Bears, especially considering the fact that he took Colin Kaepernick and the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl, where he will eventually lose to his brother in the Baltimore Ravens way back when. So hopefully we can get some things going. But I will give Eberflus this. Coach Matt Eberflus has been having his defense rocking and rolling for the Chicago Bears. So I'm excited to see them when they come back from their bye week. We just had a great win against the Minnesota Vikings, even though it was out Kirk Cousins, of course. But a win is a win, and you can't go against the grain, baby. So we gonna get into it, man. This is my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody's favorite segment. We got to get right into it, then, man. We got to talk about Rob's top five teams after week 13 in the NFL. Now, usually, I show a graphic, but I got a little fancy for y'all now, man. I'm starting to learn how to work this little thing called StreamYard. So we about to get into it. Let's get into Rob's top five teams after week 13 in the NFL. Coming in at number one, we have to go. I mean, at number five, we have to go with the Miami Dolphins. Now, I know Stephen A. Smith says his list is fluid, but your boy list, my list is factual. You know what I'm saying? So people come to me for the real, and I'm about to give you the real. At number five, we got the Miami Dolphins as they destroyed the Washington Commanders 45-15. What a game they had. Tua Tagovailoa was out there going crazy as he threw 18 to 24 from the field, 280 yards, two touchdowns, no interceptions. Devon A. Chain is finally starting to rock and roll, getting back into football playing shape after he was gone with a lower extremity injury. He had 17 carries for 73 yards, two touchdowns, and his partner in crime, Raheem Mostert, also added an additional 43 yards and one touchdown. And my boy Tyreek Hill, let me tell y'all about Tyreek. Tyreek be going crazy because Tyreek Hill only had 5 catches on the day. But in those 5 catches, he did a lot of damn damage as he went for 157 yards and two touchdowns. Now, I know I said on previous networks I worked with, I didn't feel like Tyreek Hill was exactly a route runner, and I didn't really look at him as a receiver. He's just a guy that was fast. But I saw a couple plays during that Washington versus Dolphins game where he went to go get the ball. One in particular where he jumped, even though he got pushed out of bounds. The boy showed me he got them hands, and I got to give it to Mr. Tyreek Hill. Mr. Cheetah is the best wide receiver in the NFL today. He can't nobody match his speed, and when he decides to go, that boy goes, man. The offensive line was huge this game. They keeping Tua safe. We know Tua had that scare last season with the concussion when he fell on his head like 3 times. He had to go out with concussion protocol. So you can tell that offensive line number one priority is to let Tua know that he's safe. Now, the reason I got Miami in at number 5 is because they have not beat a significant team. They have not beaten a team with a winning record. So I got to put them at number 5, even though right now I believe they're tied with the Baltimore Ravens at 9-3 to be the best team in the AFC. Sam Howell, on the other hand, was sacked 3 times. The defense just made it tough for him. Also had their second pick six in back-to-back games. The Dolphins are going to be playing against the Tennessee Titans on Monday Night Football. Let's get back into it, baby. Coming in at number 4, I got to go with, how about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys have finally made my list again because they've been going crazy as they defeated the Seattle Seahawks 41-35 on Thursday night prime time football. Let me tell you guys something. Them Cowboys have been looking good, and they are looking like a Super Bowl team. Dak Prescott continuing his MVP campaign, making clutch play after clutch play after clutch play, especially when we thought Seattle was going to have a beat. I thought Geno Smith was about to beat them boys down as he went tick for tack with Dak. That's a bar. He was 29. Dak was 29-41 on the day for 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He threw 3 touchdowns to 3 different receivers, including Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson, and CD Lamb, who's his wide receiver one. And CD had a hell of a game. He had 12 receptions for 116 yards to go with that touchdown. That defense, though, was a little shaky. As I mentioned, Geno Smith was going tick for tack with that. Smith also threw for 3 touchdowns and had a rushing touchdown on the day, too. They was picking on my boy Deron Bland all day. As you know, Deron Bland just made history in the NFL for being the only defensive back to have 5 pick sixes in one season. And he finally said enough is enough, and he will also get an interception on Geno Smith. He didn't take it to the house, but they definitely needed that interception at that time. But my boy DK Metcalf with the Seattle Seahawks had the hat trick on the day. As you guys know, that means he scored 3 touchdowns in that game. Now, the Cowboys are going to be playing the Eagles on Sunday night in a prime time NFC showdown on Sunday night prime time football. And this could possibly determine who is the best team in the NFC East. I'm excited. I can't wait to watch it. Coming in at number 3, we got to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I know Philly just got dismantled by the San Francisco 49ers. It was bad. Jalen Hurts still had a decent game in this game as he threw 26 of 48 for 98 yards, 1 touchdown, and he led his team with rushing and also had a rushing touchdown as well. Now, even though he led his team in rushing, let me tell y'all what he had. He only had 20 rushing yards on the day. You telling me you only had 20 rushing yards on the day and you lead your team in rushing? That is not a recipe for success. That spells disaster. If you told me that Philadelphia 76 that the Philadelphia Eagles will only have 46 combined rushing yards as a team, I would have told you they would have got destroyed. And that's exactly what happened. DeAndre Swift only had 13 yards on the ground. And like I said, the Eagles as a whole only rushed for 46 yards. Their 2 playmakers stepped up, though, as Devontae Smith had 96 reception yards and 1 touchdown. A.J. Brown had 114 reception yards, but their defense was toyed with. The Eagles' defense has been shaky at best, especially after losing 2 linebackers starting linebackers at that. And they got picked on all night as my boy Brock his game so Purdy just threw the ball all over the field. But we're gonna talk more about what the 49ers did in a second. Now the Eagles are gonna get some much needed help as they just signed Shaquille Leonard, who was released by the Colts. Shaquille Leonard is a former Defensive Rookie of the Year and a three-time first team All Pro. So they definitely got some help coming in. They're also going after their former player, Eagles, who was currently with the Arizona Cardinals. They just released him, Zach Ertz, and I'm telling you, that's going to be huge for the Eagles because he's a reliable catcher. Their current tight end David Godert, he's on the sideline right now. So now you're adding another playmaker to this stacked up offense. I think he can do wonders. We also know Zach Ertz is good in the blocking game, so maybe they can get that run game going a little bit better and run some different sets with that tight end. As I mentioned earlier, they're going to be playing the Cowboys in an NFC East showdown to determine who's the best team in the NFC East on Sunday Night Football. Coming in at number 2, I gotta go with the Baltimore Ravens. Let me tell you guys something. The Ravens are still looking good. Now I know that they were just on their bye week, but I didn't see a team personally in the AFC or NFC that is better than the Ravens right now at number 2. No one did anything of significance. They're currently tied with the Dolphins, as I mentioned earlier, with a record of 9-3 in the AFC, and they are leading their division. As I mentioned before, I think the Baltimore Ravens are in the toughest division in football in the AFC North because everybody in that division is either at 500 or has a winning record. They're the only division in football right now where every single team in that division has a winning record. Remember, this division consists of the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, and of course, old black and yellow Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, that's going to be a tough division. It's going to be a fight to the finish, and I'm telling you, at least maybe two of those teams might make it to the wild card, and that's going to be tough for the NFL. They're going to be going against the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday, and I can't wait to see that. But coming in at number 1, and they call me Robs2Cents. I'm just all knowing when it comes to sports. Coming in at number 1, it got to be them 49ers, baby. The team that I've been picking, if you've been a fan of this show, to win it all. The San Francisco 49ers have been getting down, going to work. I know they went through that 3-game losing streak when they lost their players, and Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams was going through some problems as well. But they got their team back now. They're healthy. They added Chase Young. And as I always say, it is just too many damn playmakers on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Let me tell you how they took apart the Philadelphia Eagles. I said it once and I will say it again that Brock, my game so Purdy, is the real deal, and he has jumped his name in the candidacy for MVP because he had a monstrous game, throwing for over 300 yards in the air, throwing for touchdowns, throwing for 0 picks. Both Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel had rushing touchdowns for this team, and Deebo also had 4 receptions for 116 yards and 2 more touchdowns, giving him the hat trick of the day. Did you hear what I said? Debo only caught the ball 4 times, but gave you 116 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air. That man is the king of yak. If you don't know what yak means, that means yards after catch. And once he gets the ball in his hand, you let the playmaker make plays, and that's what Debo do. Completely Debo this game and dominated. But that's not all. Purdy also hit 2 other receivers for touchdowns as well, as he threw one to Jawan Jennings and he threw one to Brandon Ayuk, and Christian McCaffrey did his thing on the day. It's just too many playmakers. I could just keep naming names. I mean, look at the guys I just named for the 49ers. How can you tell me this is not the best team in football? And then we go on the defensive side of the day, holding the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that's primarily known to rush the ball to only 46 rushing yards. That's how you show up. That's how you clock in and go to work. And the San Francisco 49ers have been running the gauntlet on these teams, man. I've said this once and I'll say it again. They're the best team in football, and they proved it on Sunday by going in there and beating a 10-1 team. My only concern for the Niners team is their secondary. That secondary, you can kind of pick on their secondary, and you can kind of tell that was the Philadelphia Eagles game plan as they kind of went away from the run and they said, you know what, we're going to try to pick on those corners and pick on those safeties. But the way that they front seven rushes to the quarterback, it's a problem. You got Greenlaw, you got Armstead, you got Chase Young, you got Nick Bosa, you got real life playmakers on this team, and all they want to do is hit people and hurt people. And did I forget about the best linebacker in the game right now, and Fred Warner? I can just keep naming names, ladies and gentlemen. The 49ers are going to win it all, whether you like it or not, and they're going to have to put some respect. And I ain't talking about RESPECT. I'm talking about RESPECK. Put some respect on Brock Purdy's name, because Brock Purdy is the real deal. And if y'all ain't careful, he might not only walk away with the Super Bowl title, but he might walk away with the MVP title of the Super Bowl, and he might walk away with the regular season MVP title. I mean, Brock, my game, so Purdy just keep doing his thing. And hey, it almost kind of reminds you of Brady. Now, I'm not saying that he's Brady. It's a lot he has to do to be a Tom Brady. But what I'm saying is, do you see that? Tom Brady was a sixth pick. Well, no, I mean, not even sixth pick. Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round of the NFL draft. Brock Purdy was the last pick in the NFL draft. Out of all the rounds, he was the last pick. And look what he's doing, man. A true diamond in the rough. Now, the 49ers are going to play the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday in the rematch. We know what they did to them before. I think they played on Thanksgiving Day, where they just absolutely destroyed the Seattle Seahawks. So God bless them, and God bless anybody that plays this team. And that was Rob's top 5 NFL teams after week 5. As I mentioned before, we got the Miami Dolphins at 5, the Dallas Cowboys at 4, the Philadelphia Eagles at 3, the Baltimore Ravens at 2, and the San Francisco 49ers coming in at number 1. I'm telling you guys, they don't want no smoke with that 49ers team. Now we can talk a little bit about what's been going on. Now, first, I want to, say our thoughts with my boy Trevor Lawrence from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had a nasty injury that just happened this past past Monday night, in which he went against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, remember, they were without Joe Burrow, so they had my boy Browning out there. And you know what? He kind of outplayed Trevor Lawrence, man. So I'm going to let you guys take a look at this nasty injury, man. Our thoughts are with you, brother.
Lawrence goes down. Ball came out, and Lawrence is grabbing at his leg. And he is in serious pain. Fumble was recovered by Anton Harrison, and Lawrence can't get off the field. I still didn't get a good look at what happened.
Well, it looked like he was kind of pulling the ball back when he started to throw, and then that's when the leg, let's take a look. Oh, right there.
That is the left tackle Walker Little, who stepped back on the inside of the ankle of Trevor Lawrence. Right there. And then was bent backward. And they are checking on their franchise quarterback, and there is concern here in Jacksonville.
As you guys can see, there was a lot of concern look on the faces of all my people out there in Duval County. Like I said, our thoughts are with Trevor Lawrence. Now, luckily, the MRI results came back. It was only a high ankle sprain, but those can be tricky. As I learned from Skip Bayless, one of the many things that I've learned from Skip, who's a great journalist and broadcaster in this field, and he's had talks with many doctors, and they always say that high ankle sprains are harder to heal than lower ankle sprains because there's nothing really you can do for a high ankle sprain except for ride it out, and you never really know when it's completely healthy. So, like I said, our thoughts are with Trevor Lawrence, man. Jacksonville has been doing their thing. There's no timetable for his expected return, but hopefully he can make it back in the time for the playoffs because Jacksonville is going to need him, especially if they want to make any kind of noise in the playoffs. But we got to talk about some things. First of all, let me go to the comments, man. I see I got some comments out here, so I appreciate you guys for commenting. Hey, my boy Tony's like, hey, Robs2Cents, baby, we in the building. We in the building. Hey, we gonna talk. I'm about to actually get into that. My boy Mike Hughes, what's happening, man? Hey, what's happening, man? Hey, y'all make sure again catch me and Mike Hughes tomorrow. Welcome to Mars, baby. This is what we do. D'Angelo, man, I appreciate you for tuning in, brother. I appreciate you, man. Hey, we got a Philly hate fest going on in the comments right now. Tony, man, appreciate you, man. You know I love you, brother. Hey, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate all my people for commenting, man. Let's keep this train going, man, because now we got to talk about, and Tony brought it up in his situation, and I mean his comment, the situation that's going on with Florida State University. Now, if you guys don't know, Florida State went undefeated in the regular season for college football. They went 13-0, uh, and they were nicked out of the college playoffs. NCAA football committee is now under fire about the final four teams that they selected, that being Texas, Michigan, Alabama, and Washington State University. Uh, and I'm gonna just be real with you guys, man. I think that Florida State University, the Seminoles, was robbed. I don't like the fact that we put politics and money in the game where these guys give their heart and they give their soul and they give their time and their energy, to not only come play the game, but to play the game at a high level. And for this team to go undefeated in their season, completely dominating their conference, and showing everybody what college football is all about. For the fact that the committee to take away this opportunity and give it to Alabama. Now, mind you, I can see the argument on both sides if we're talking business. Alabama, Georgia, these are teams as part of the SEC. And Georgia at one point in time was the number one ranked team in the nation. Alabama went in this Saturday and got Georgia. They won. Coach Nick Saban, Tricky Nicky as I like to call him, he always gets the job done. And due to the fact that Alabama was able to go in and win against Georgia, the NCAA College Football Committee decided that Alabama should be in that fourth place, taking on. I believe they're going to be taking on Michigan, in the college football game. It's a tough decision. I read somewhere that this decision by the college committee has now saved TV deals, $150 million, because honestly nobody wanted to watch Florida State. Now Florida State is without their quarterback, uh, and it's tough, man. I hate to see that. Jordan Travis is his name. He was having a dynamic year with 20 touchdowns and only two interceptions, and he had a season-ending injury in which he's broken his leg. So then they would even lose their backup quarterback to head injury issues. So they were really on their third string quarterback, and they were still able to pull it out and win their championship in their conference. So it's tough, you know what I mean? According to the committee, they base their picks for the college playoffs off the following criteria: that's play on the field, conference championship, strength of schedule, head-to-head competition, and comparative outcomes of common opponents. Now, one of the factors that the college committee said that they had in making this decision is that FSU didn't play anybody and they've lost key players. They have unavailability of key players. And this is the reason that they were not able to make it to the college playoffs, even though they went undefeated. Now, like I said, from a business standpoint, I can understand that. But, Florida State is about to go down in history as being the only team to miss the playoffs, the only undefeated team to miss the playoffs since the inception of the Power Five conference, which it was created back in 2014. So that's what my thoughts are on it. I can understand why you would want to put Alabama in there. We know Coach Nick Saban. He's a known name. Alabama is a known university, and a lot of people are fans of Alabama just due to the fact that the Tide continue to win. Roll Tide. I have no problem. I'm actually a fan of Alabama myself. Not everything I agree that Coach Saban does, but he's still a legendary coach, and you have to respect that. But the thing I don't like about what the committee does is why even have a ranking system? Why have these kids go out there to try to play for the highest position, to play for the highest ranking, and then they go undefeated, and you put in a team that was 12-1 or 12-3? I don't get that. I don't get why you would take that out on this Florida State team, regardless if they're missing their star quarterback or not. Florida State University did what they had to do. They went undefeated, and they should be in the college playoffs. So, I get a lot of people saying, hey, it's about money, it's about TV deals. Nobody wants to see, and that's probably true. Without Jordan Travis, I'm sorry, Michigan might have destroyed them. They ain't no might. They were gonna go in and roll over this Seminole team, but that's for them to lose. That is not for you to take the opportunity away from the rest of the kids that are there. And even Jordan Travis and the athletic director uh, uh, took their opinions to social media. You know what I'm saying? Letting them know that they were disgusted with the decisions by the college football committee. So that those are my thoughts, man. I get it. It's a tough decision. But you guys know how it is, man. Especially with these NIL deals going around, these universities are still trying to find a way to make money. And remember, NIL deals are not paid through universities. They're paid through sponsors. They're paid through private institutions. So the universities are only paying out scholarships and things of that nature. And I don't know how the scholarship situation works if a kid is making $4 or $5 million a year in NIL deals. And I'm not against NIL deals at all. Young guys, go make your money. Young women, go make your money. Because if they're going to use your name, your likeness, your image on jersey sales, ticket sales, trying to get people to come to these universities as scholars, using your name and image in video games, and these colleges are making millions of dollars off these TV deals, then you should get a piece of that pie too. So anybody that's against the NIL deal, I don't get what you own, because at the end of the day, these guys deserve to get a little piece of that pie. Hey, Calvin, man, I appreciate you, man. Hey, it's always a grind, baby. But we gonna keep on going because we just getting started. So let's keep this show going, y'all. I'm not gonna keep y'all that long, man. We're gonna get into my Heisman finalists because these four guys have been called up to New York as finalists in the Heisman race. I don't know if you guys know, but your boy Robs2Cents was right again, because the very four people that I've been talking about all year have made it to as finalists for the Heisman race. You got my boy Bo Nix, you got Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., and of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's talk about these guys for a second. Bo Nix and the number 8 ranked Oregon Ducks, they lost to the number 2 ranked undefeated Washington Huskies, 34-31 in the Pac-12 championship conference game. I think this was the game that cost Bo Nix an opportunity to lead his Oregon Ducks into the college playoffs, losing to Michael Penix and the Washington Huskies. But on the year, Bo threw for 4,145 yards, 40 touchdowns, and only had 3 interceptions. He leads the nation in both completions and completion percentage. And he also tied with Jaden Daniels for the most touchdowns this season. However, the loss to Washington University has probably hindered his chance on bringing the Heisman home to Oregon. At number 2, we have Jaden Daniels, who was representing the 13th ranked LSU Tigers. Remember, they defeated the Texas A&M Aggies 42-30 about 2 weeks ago. For the year, Daniels has thrown for 3,812 yards, 40 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Not to mention he has ran for over 1,100 yards, including 10 rushing touchdowns, and ended the year with a QBR of 95.6. He is also in the top 25 in the nation for rushing yards. However, his team had huge losses to FSU, Florida State University, Ole Miss, and of course, good old Alabama. Roll Tide. His lack of winning the big games might keep the trophy out his grasp. Coming in at number 3, we have Michael Penix Jr., who defeated Oregon to become the Pac-12 champions. Penix Jr. led the Washington Huskies to an undefeated season and the only Heisman finalist to lead his team to the playoffs in this undefeated season. For the year, he is now at 4,218 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, including 3 rushing touchdowns. He was first in the nation in passing yards and third in passing touchdowns. And of course, we got Marvin Harrison Jr. and he who had the number 3 ranked number 6 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. They lost to Michigan during rivalry week. And it was a crushing game. However, for the year, he's caught 67 passes for 1,211 yards, 14 touchdowns, and he was the best receiver in college football by far. And hopefully, the Chicago Bears will take him at number 1 and not try to get rid of Justin Fields. Bring in another playmaker, bring in an offensive lineman, because I can only imagine seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. and my boy, what's his name? What's DJ Moore on the side of each other, man. I would love to see that combination and to hopefully see Justin Fields getting a little bit more protection and doing what he got to do to get the Bears out of this mediocre place. Now I got to tell y'all about my goofball of the week, y'all. If you're ready to laugh, give me an oh hell yeah, because my goofball of the week has to be the Houston Rockets coach Ime Udoka, as he got into a verbal altercation with LeBron freaking James. Let me show you guys before we put everything in context. This is what happened. This is the leaked audio of what was actually said before Coach Ime Udoka was thrown out of the game. Hey, I don't know if Coach Ime was having a bad day or something that day, but dog, let me tell you something. You're not playing basketball anymore. You are a coach now. You have to have a certain level of discipline, a certain level of etiquette as being a coach of the NBA for the NBA team. You can't act like a player. You can't get into verbal altercations with other players, especially one of the best players in the league. Are you crazy? Were you smoking that day? Are you having flashbacks, trauma of you losing Nia Long? I don't know what's going on. But remember, that was your fault. It wasn't Nia's fault. I just don't get why, these coaches don't stay in the coach's place. You see coaches like him. You see coaches like Mike Malone with the Denver Nuggets, who was also taunting LeBron, once the Denver Nuggets was able to beat the Lakers in the playoffs last year, and eventually advanced to the finals, and then eventually win it all. He was even trolling LeBron at the parade. You coaches got to understand, you cannot act like that. And for Coach Ime Udoka, I know why you mad at LeBron, because LeBron been in the league for 21 years and he bust your ass when you was a player, when you played for Sacramento, when you played for San Antonio Spurs. You ain't forgot LeBron coming in there going to work on y'all ass. So now you feel like, oh, I can go here and talk crazy to. You know what LeBron got to do? LeBron got to start giving motherfuckers the Draymond treatment. You choke somebody up or you give somebody a 1-2, buckle my shoe, I promise your ass they gonna stop coming at you like you soft, bro. They gonna get hit with that two-piece combo and realize, oh shit, he is 6'9", 260 pounds. Let me go ahead and shut what we call the fuck up and leave this man alone. LeBron, I challenge you, LeBron. I challenge you. Next time somebody come at you reckless, get their ass that Draymond treatment. Give them the beam range treatment. Make their eyes pop out their head. I promise you. All it takes is one example. That's what my mom used to tell me. You knock out one motherfucker and everybody else gonna stop what they doing. Because they don't want to get them problems, man. So, Coach Ime Doku, I need you to remember that you are a coach. You are no longer a player. And I'm going to need you to show etiquette as if you are a coach. And that's why, unfortunately, sir, you are Rob's goofball of the week. Now let's talk about some things that's been going on in the NBA because we have been seeing this in-season tournament. Oh my God, things have been cracking. If you guys take a look at the screen, I will show you the graph of what's been going on. For the West, we had the Lakers, Suns, King, and Pelicans make it to the quarterfinals of the in-season tournament. And then on the East side, we had the Bucks, Knicks, Pacers, and Celtics. Now, last night was a game because we saw the Indiana Pacers go against the Boston Celtics. And let me tell you something, man. They went crazy. This game had a playoff feel, had a playoff atmosphere, and I was enjoying myself thoroughly last night watching this game. The Boston Celtics would eventually lose to the Indiana Pacers, 122 to 112. And there's one guy in particular I just got to give a shout out to before I go into these stats. Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton has been a godsend to the Indiana Pacers. Now, I know when Sacramento made that trade to get some bonus to go play with De'Aaron Fox, I said that was one of the best things that Sacramento could have did because they added a big man to De'Aaron Fox and it gave them a real life chance to make some noise in the playoffs. So Sacramento has been doing that thing. But I didn't realize how great Halliburton would be for this Pacers team. He has been going to work. Let me tell y'all about his last 5 games. Now, I understand in his last 5 games, they're 2-3, but listen to the numbers that he's been putting up. Against Toronto back on November 22nd, he went 12 of 22 from the field, 5 of 10 from the three-point line. He gave you 33 points, has 16 assists. And did I mention that he's leading the league right now, currently in assists, and 3 rebounds and only had 3 turnovers and gave you a block? That's your point guard out there telling people to get that shit up out of here. And then he'll follow that up on the 24th, going against Detroit in the game that they won. Now, shooting wasn't that good. He went 9 of 23 from the field, 5 of 13 from the field, and only gave you 26 points. But again, double-digit assists, 10 assists, 2 rebounds, and only 1 turnover. That's what you call taking control, taking care of the ball. And then he would go on. They would lose to Portland, unfortunately, but he had a dynamic game, giving you 33 points, 11 to 17 from the field, 50% from the three-point line, gave you 9 dimes and gave you only 3 turnovers. That's what you call going to work. And then going against Miami, unfortunately, another game they took an L to, he did everything he could. 15 to 28 from the field, went 6 to 16 from the three-point line, and gave you 10 more dimes and 3 steals, 1 block, and only 2 turnovers. He did everything he could. I don't know what else you wanted him to do. But he said, you know what? I'm tired of losing, and I'm about to let everybody know who I am. Because he would go against the Boston Celtics. And not only will he get them up out of the in-season tournament, he has stamped his name as an upcoming superstar as he went for 26 points, 10 to 18 from the field, 5 or 11 from the three-point line, no turnovers, 13 assists, 1 steal, and 10 rebounds, giving you his first ever career triple double. He said, you needed me to do more, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Tyrese Halliburton, that boy, cold. And Tyrese has been doing his thing. I'm telling you guys right now, I don't know if anybody wants that smoke with this young Pacers team. They bring in Obi Toppin from New York. Buddy Hield seems like he's revitalized. Miles Turner seems like he's revitalized. They got my boy TJ McConnell out there still going to work, the savvy veteran. I like the way that this Pacers team is going. I like the direction they're going in. And Coach Rick Carlisle is showing y'all that it wasn't no fluke with him winning the ring in 2011 with Dallas. He said, I'm going to turn this Pacers team back into a perennial playoff team. Because right now, Pacers are sitting six in the standings. And I don't know if anybody want that smoke with them. Again, yesterday it was a great game. We heard what Halliburton did, but he had some help, man. Buddy Hield gave you 21 points, 4-6 from the three-point line. Obi Toppin gave you 12 points. Miles Turner gave you 17 points. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to win by committee. My boy Benedict Mathurin gave you 16 points. Aaron Nesmith gave you 14 points. Bruce Brown gave you 13 points. Remember, Bruce Brown brings a component of championship exposure because remember, he was one of those main pieces on that Denver Nuggets bench when they won the championship last year. Now you bring in Bruce Brown to this Pacers team who can actually tell this team, I know how to win. I know how to get it done. And I just don't know what's going on with the Celtics right now. I mean, Tatum had an okay game from the field, but from the three-point line, he was horrible. He still gave you 32 points, but he shot 25% from the three-point line. Jaylen Brown was no better, only shooting 28.6% from the three-point line. They both gave you 30 and 32. Derek White gave you 18, and Sam Hauser gave you 15. But where was everybody else? Drew Holiday, man, you pulling the disappearing act like you did last year with Milwaukee. I'm gonna need you to show up, especially with Porzingis not being there. And we know Porzingis is always hurt. So I think if I'm the Celtics, I'm gonna try to just preserve this dude for the playoffs because, dude, we gonna need you if we expect to win. Look at what you gave up. You gave up Robert Williams. You gave up Marcus Smart. You are going to need Porzingis healthy and playing at a top level if the Celtics expect to make any noise in the NBA playoffs. And then on the ladder, we had another game last night in the in-season tournament where we saw the New Orleans Pelicans defeat, surprisingly, the Sacramento Kings, man. Pelicans have been balling this year, too. You know, I know they've been going through some health issues, but CJ McCullough is back, and Brandon Ingram has been playing consistent games. And, of course, Zion has been doing this thing being Zion. Didn't really do much last night, but that's because Brandon Ingram and Herbert Jones and CJ McCullough had it under control, man. The Sacramento Kings, I just think they were a little worn out, maybe mentally exhausted. This is a team I trust. I think they're looking at the bigger picture of the playoffs. And they played hard. Don't get me wrong. De'Aaron Fox gave you 30 points, but he shot abysmal for the field. 40% from the field, 14.3% from the three-point line. That's not gonna happen too often. Kevin Huerter was supposed to be there. Their three-point specialist was only 2 of 7 from the three-point line. And God, oh wow, I love Coach Mike Brown. I actually saw a segment in which he was defending De'Aaron Fox and wondering why his name is not being mentioned in MVP talks or best player in the league talk. But why you keep playing Harrison Barnes? Harrison Barnes is washed up. You know, no offense to Harrison. You know, like I said, I got respect for all guys that make it to these leagues because you're doing something only you can do. You know, if I could be in the NBA, I would, but I just can't play like that. You know, I can play, but not to y'all level. You know, but Harrison Barnes, you know, compared to other NBA players, bro, you washed up, bro. You know, I didn't really like you with the Warriors. You saw immediately they won with Kevin Durant and even won with Andrew Wiggins. I mean, that should tell you something. So you know, I don't think he should be getting that much time. I think you should give time to that. So like Malik Monk, you should give time to other guys on this team and have Harrison come off the bench. But I'm not here to try to tell you how to coach. I'm just trying to tell you what the real is. And you know, as far as with the Pelicans, like I mentioned, Brandon Ingram's gave you 30. Jonas Valanciunas gave you 18. Herbert Jones gave you 23. McCollum gave you 17. Trey Murphy gave you 16. That's how you win by committee. And even though Zion only had 10 points, he didn't try to force it. He was 5 of 8 from the field. He finally took 2 3-pointers, even though he missed them horribly. He took the shots. Yeah, that's all you can ask for. But he gave you 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. I mean, he had 4 turnovers, but you know, Zion is still trying to get himself back into shape. You know, the good thing is he's been playing, and as long as Zion on that court, it's gonna be tough for any team playing the Pelicans right now. So you know, as we looking at our standings, we got the Pelicans advancing to the semifinals, and we got the Pacers over the East Side advancing to the semifinals. Right now, we're watching the Bucks play the Knicks. Look like Milwaukee is trying to bring it home. They're up by 10. Correction, up by 3 in the third quarter with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the third. Up 103-90 on the New York Knicks, and look like they might be possibly sending the Knicks home as they're trying to get their trip to Vegas. And then later on, we're going to be seeing the Los Angeles Lakers go against the Phoenix Suns to see who's going to advance in this in-season tournament. As I mentioned earlier, I completely love the tournament. I like the way that the competition has been. I like the way that it's been given a playoff feel, a playoff atmosphere. I love the fact that these young guys are playing. When I saw Indiana, finally put the game in the bag last night, you can see the excitement and the joy on these young players' face. Because let's be real, for some of these teams, this is their NBA finals. This is their NBA playoffs. So to watch the in-season tournament actually have a positive impact on the league, my boy John pointed out. Shout out to my boy John. He pointed out that think about the transition that we're going into. We go from the beginning of the season where the excitement is at its most high. Then we go right into the in-season tournament, and it's been surprisingly good. Remember, right after that, you looking forward to the All-Star game, and then now we thinking about playoffs and who gonna make it in the play-in. So I mean, if you look at that timeline, it's gonna always keep you excited in the NBA. And of course, FanDuel like no other. If I could win a little money while this game going, we gonna do the damn thing and keep this thing rocking, man. So it's definitely been exciting. It's been fun. Uh, I'm predicting the Lakers to win it all because I think LeBron chasing history. Think about it. To actually say I'm the first guy to win the in-season tournament, add another crown, another achievement to his long list of achievements. And his quest to chase an uncatchable goat. Because I don't care what he does going forward. Michael Jordan is the goat. It just it's not my opinion. It's not something that I'm hallucinating on. This is an actual fact. As I mentioned, you guys come to me for the fact, and I'm telling you guys, this is not opinion. This is fact. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Damn, I just been spitting bars all night. I don't know y'all got to stop paying me for these lyrics, Lord Jesus. Hey, and as we go to end our show, look at that, my boy. Look, I spoke him up and John comment. I appreciate you for watching, brother. As we about to end our show, I like to always show you guys a video of the week. And I wanted to keep this a little sports related, but I wanted to also make it fun. And this video was hilarious. If you guys know social media star Drewski, Drewski had an hilarious video in which he was with Roll Tide Willie, who's a big Alabama fan. And the skit that these dudes did together was freaking hilarious. I'm gonna let you guys watch, man, because I was in tears. Check this.
On this American soil, we don't care about shit but Bama, our people, and the Tide. Yeah, Tide, that's it. Yeah. You better take the dog. Damn dog, get out the dog. We don't give a piss. I love you to death, brother. I love you. Let's go, Roll Tide! Roll Tide! The dog's ready to go down. I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby. Don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. I love America and I love the Tide, baby. And I love Will to death. That's right. Don't give a piss about piss for the Tide. Tide, go get them. Tide, go take them down. This is my baby darling. We've been married 32 years. We just had our anniversary down in Myrtle.
And you don't even want to know
Honeymoon in Myrtle. Yeah, you don't want to know about it. You play for the team? Yeah. He plays for Bama.
He plays for Bama. Come in.
You make us proud.
We love you.
Rednecks, you make us proud, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we love you.
You're a fucking unit, man.
Yeah.
We love you. We love you, man. God bless America.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Greatest country there is.
Greatest country there is.
Want to mess with us? We'll show you something.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw this video. I sent it to my friends. I sent it to my wife. I'm talking about I was in tears. I said, look at Drewski. ended racism one Alabama game at a time. That was beautiful to see. And remember, we don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Hey, that's my show, ladies and gentlemen. Before I get out of here, I just got to give a special shout out to my wifey. You know, on Thursday, we're going to be celebrating 5 years of marriage. It's been a hell of a ride. As you guys know, any marriage you got to work at it every day, but you got to find somebody that's worth working on it with. And I found a great partner in my wife and Mrs. Joy Scott. Hey, baby. And I just want to give a shout out to her for helping me stay focused on my goals. And she's one of the reasons I pushed to start this podcast thing. She heard me say this was a dream of mine to be a sportscaster, and she's pushed me to follow my dreams. And even on days where I feel like, man, I don't have that many viewers, I can miss today. She don't let me do it. And even when I took a break from the show, she will always say, well, I see you jumping on everybody else, so when you gonna come back out with Robs2Cents? So that's the kind of person you need in your life. You know what I'm saying? You need a person that if you're going to choose a significant other that's going to bring out the best in you and hold you accountable and keep you on your P's and Q's, keep you on your toes. And that's what I have in a partner. So shout out to her. Happy anniversary to us on Thursday, celebrating 5 beautiful years of marriage and hoping to celebrate the rest of our lives with each other, man. And if you guys are going through any birthdays or anniversaries, shout out to y'all too, man. And that's been my show, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, as I said, catch me tomorrow with my boy Mike Hughes as we'll be bringing you Welcome to Mars, where we'll go a little bit deeper in depth in the in-season tournament and all news NBA, and also talk a little basketball, a little college women's basketball. We talk about it all on Welcome to Mars. So if you're ready to leave Earth, take that voyage with us to Mars on the Mike and Rob Show. And also, again, this is my first time streaming the Instagram followers today. So anybody that watched on Instagram, I appreciate you. This is gonna be the status quo moving forward. We're gonna put this work out here. We're gonna give you this content, and I'm here to entertain you the best way I can. You know me, I talk more shit than a little bit. This is what I do. And I got nothing but love for y'all, man. I hope y'all continue to be good, continue to be great, continue to go after everything you want in life and go after it like you possess, like you mad. And when you get it, God damn it, you do everything you can to keep it. And you already know the slogan, baby. We gone. There's a bigger fight going on. There's a much bigger agenda than the streets. And I know sometimes it's hard to see that far in front of us, but we have to look past the illusions, look past the delusions of grandeur, and look at the bigger picture. We need to become better versions of ourselves each and every day. Fight for what you believe in, because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. We just getting started, baby. You guys know the slogan now. Hope you all have a great evening, and we gone.